Oh man, I cannot believe I bought myself an Xbox One Series X. I absolutely said I was not getting this console, but to be fair, I'm not buying it for the same reasons that I typically would have bought an Xbox before. I've been buying Xbox consoles since the infancy, since the birth of the brand. Loved it, loved the American, logo to everything, and that it was something that the States had. I love the fact that it always has been typically like the console that provided the most horsepower in your living room, right? Stronger than the original was stronger than the PS2, and then you had the 360 that had this stronger online infrastructure versus the PlayStation 3, and yada yada yada. And so today we're gonna unbox this thing and talk about why I got it and take a look at it in my setup after this intro. All right, Project Scorpio. This was my day one Xbox One X console. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Some misleading things that went on with this console, as well as the PlayStation 4 Pro, that a lot of gamers didn't really understand. A lot of TV enthusiasts didn't understand. I was already hip to PC gaming at the time this console came out. And so playing in 4K natively, without any restrictions, really required you to have a gaming PC. You needed to have a 980 Ti or a 1080, Ti or something to that equivalent to be able to really play games in 4K. And then being able to play without the frame rate lock was a big thing. So I enjoyed the Xbox One X a lot, like tremendously. I played hundreds of hours of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It played in 4K, 30 frames. It was locked to 30 frames, but I enjoyed the game. But when I jumped on playing it on PC in 4K, I'm playing at 60 frames per second. It was just like, oh man, it was really, really, really a day and night experience. So this console of late has been used for me to play fighting games. I did a video, I'll probably link it at this point, within this video, talking about how I have consoles finally set back up into my living room space. So LG OLED owner, multiple OLED owner. And so that TV is put in a position where it's designed to pair up with this console technology. I've even did a video last year. It's my biggest video on my channel talking about the best TV to buy for the Series X or the PS5. Well, I chose to go the Sony route, this console generation, if you will, because Spider-Man and some of the exclusive games that they had to offer just seemed like a better fit for me. I don't really get into playing the fighting games competitively anymore like I used to. And so the infrastructure of Xbox Live being the better platform for online gaming didn't really matter to me this time around. But here we are. I do have it, and we're going to unbox this thing and talk about some of the hardware perks that it does have. And just taking a quick look at the side box. Obviously, this has been probably seen dozens and dozens and dozens of times by more popular people, but 4K 120 frame per second. I mean, 8K HDR, right? 1 TB SSD. These are all firsts in console gaming. Like first. Just a slew of firsts, right? The only thing that it's like in its second iteration is the 4K Blu-ray. That's something that did exist before, but everything else is just like, this is the first time. So if you're seeing this, you're wondering, what is this, right? Number one, you got to have a TV that can actually do HDMI 2.1 to take advantage of this particular feature, the 4K 120 frames per second. That's what FPS stands for. The 8K HDR, obviously you need to have a TV that's 8K for this. This is definitely not a gaming thing. This is more so for like streaming capability. And then of course you do have to have a TV that is HDMI 2.1. So these are two things that are really important. I think they should have had like asterisks or something to that degree to specify HDMI 2.1 required, just because there's a lot of people that came into looking at this console and just didn't know that. 1 TB solid state, some proprietary type of technology there. SSDs have been around for many years. M.2 form factors being around as early as 2014, I want to say, for consumer grade. But NVMe, being something faster. So the SSD on this thing is really quick. VVR, variable refresh rate, essentially tying back into this, matching up the hertz of your panel, right, to the frames that your graphics card is pushing out, kind of a 1-to-1. So that's it. And then obviously the 4K Blu-ray, which I don't even have a Blu-ray player in my living room setup, and I do not plan on buying Blu-rays. Downloading is definitely the way to go for me, and streaming is good enough where I don't feel like I need to have that. All right, and if we can get a good look at that, got it right here. It's packaged pretty nice. It says power your dreams. Let me just get a look at anything that might be in here. Okay, got information and such about the Game Pass stuff. Set this to the side right there. It's a nice cool box, might be worth keeping. Box inside of a box. Inside that, gonna have an actual HDMI 2.1 cable. Okay, nice thick cable. It says ultra high speed on it. Not sure if I put the product setting on the camera or not, but that's that. It's gonna have the standardized power cable, which is cool because I already had the Xbox One X Project Scorpio connected. So that's a non-polarized cable, circle, right? That's gonna be present there. The all new controller, right? And I do have one of these already. It's all black. They did a little extra with the D-pad, directional pad. Kind of simulates what the Elite controller looks like. It's not removable, flat face, unlike the last generation of Xbox One controllers. But this is backwards compatible, works on computer. It's Bluetooth, so you can even use this to now use the xCloud Game Pass on like iPhone and Android. And that's gonna pretty much cover everything that's in the box. I know that this has been seen, but I'm gonna go ahead and open this thing up and then get it set up in my living room. All right, gonna unbox the unbox. So we got this here, bottom of it. Pull that open. A little bit of tape on that side, a little bit of tape on this side. And now we have a unwrapped finish. Interesting. Seen these on display, but first time actually, holding one myself. So it has the ability to stand up vertically. Kind of like this 3D effect because you got ventilation here and a big 240 millimeter fan there. And then these holes are painted green, so it makes it look like, I don't know, kind of like it's falling in. Just optical drive there. So the console lays this way with your eject button being there. Your synchronization button is going to be there. This is going to be power. You go to the bottom, it has an integrated vertical stand. It's got nice rubberized material there to stop it from like slipping and such. And then when you go to the back, you're gonna have all your ports. So you have a lock port there. You got a 2 USB super speeds, your non-polarized power connector there, HDMI out. There's no HDMI in on this like the Xbox One X had. You've got your Ethernet, and then you've got a proprietary storage expansion port there. It's for a secondary solid state. It's going to plug directly into the motherboard to give you identical speeds of what's internally in the console. Quick glimpse. Got that boy all set up in there. Now, it's looking pretty complete. And I'm going to have to play around with some settings to see how this is going to integrate within my my setup. One thing I've already noticed, excuse me for the camera going everywhere, is that I'm waiting for an update on my LG C1. The C1 and the G1 are the only TVs in the world that support Dolby Vision gaming at 4K 120 hertz. And the Xbox One or Xbox Series X is the only console that puts out that content. Also, there are no games officially made with it, but it is nice to know that we're future-proof there. As I said, I made a video about what TV to get. This was definitely the TV. I actually left this off the list because I wanted to talk about every other TV that was a good option. But we got green checks clear across the board. And I don't want to get into any disclaimer issue, but I'm actually going to force my TV to update so that I will actually have that as of tonight. I've already got the update put. But yeah, man, this is what I've got going on. So I got to test a couple of things out. Whether or not I will keep the PC running things or not, I'm not sure. But this is my unboxing, and that's what my decor looks like. I'll make some more videos about this type of stuff going forward. See you then.